How many of you have plans for this weekend? How many of you have plans for the retirement life?
No.
Not bad. I see that a lot of my mind activities go into this process called planning. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, let me introduce myself. I come from a small village in southern part of India. My father was a city clerk. My mom was a school teacher. I have two brothers. They all live in India. I live here in Troy with my wife and little son. Let me get back to my original question. Can anyone live life without planning? How much of a planning is required to run this life? I'd like to share two specific instances from my personal experience. One of the most important thing in life that requires planning is plan for education and career. I went to school like any other kid. I was average. To go up to high school, you do not require any planning in India. Just go to school and you can graduate high school, no problem. After that, my interesting subject was economics. I applied for it. After 2 weeks, I got a letter from the university saying that course is no longer available there. Instead, they recommended me to choose another course, which they started new, that was in computer science. So I just joined college and I finished it. Today I am a computer science graduate and I work as a systems consultant. There was no planning. It all just happened. Let me give you another example. Another major stuff in life is married life. In India, we have this thing called arranged marriage. Have anyone heard of it? It works this way. When I am ready for a marriage, I tell my family, the elderly people, look for a girl. They look inside the community. They look at the family status, look at the education, and they find a girl, and it's between two families, That's how it works. The same planning process started. It went for 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, nothing worked out. Then 3 years ago, when I was sitting in Troy Library, I got a call from New Jersey. One of my wife's relative, she called and she introduced both of us. Prior to marriage, I saw my wife only once. Had a couple of calls. That's all about it. Within 2 months, the whole process was complete and we are husband and wife. Next week, we are celebrating our 3rd year anniversary with our beautiful son. There was no planning at all. Except the human being, in the whole existence, no one else make this process called planning. Let's look at the nature. Look at the tree. They don't plan how to grow. They don't plan when to flower. It just naturally happens. Let me give you another example. Sun rises in the morning. All birds wake up. They don't set alarm clock. They sing this beautiful song. They make the sound of joy. They don't have any meeting scheduled for the day. They don't have a goal to meet. They just go out. When the sun sets, they all come back home. They rest. That's all about life. Unfortunately, this thing happens to humanity. We have been taught to control. We have been taught to manage. Let's look at this process of planning a little more closer. What is that creates this planning? It's the mind. What is mind? All that we have learned so far, all that we have accumulated in life, all that we have been conditioned so far, this is what is mind. Out of this mind, the future, the planning for future happens. What do you expect? Garbage in, garbage out. When we start with this planning, the first thing what we do is we create this seed for frustration. And then what follows? Anxiety. Will it work? Will I succeed? What people will think if I fail? What will happen to my family? Let's look at the other side of it. What will happen if you don't have planning? With no planning, of course, there is no expectation. When there is no expectation, there is no disappointment. Life happens so beautifully. Ladies and gentlemen, there is absolutely no reason for any planning in life. Let's stop trying to control. Let's stop trying to manage things. Let's stop creating this idea of planning, thereby creating competition and creating stress day in and day out in everyday life. Let's all have this courage to live this life with absolutely no planning. Mr. Toastmaster.